Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm. This week, we've managed to pry ourselves away from our island sanctuaries long enough to talk about patch 6.2. Our first impressions of just the initial bunch of content. Remember, we don't have Criterion, we don't have Variant, we don't have Savage, we don't have the Manderville weapons yet. All that stuff is still to come, but just the initial release of 6.2 we'll be talking about today. So with that, you're going to need a couple of hosts. I'm one of them, Mr. Happy, and of course, joining me, who's not just prying himself away from his island, he's also prying himself away from Soul Hackers 2 and Gundam to do a show for a couple hours. Sly's here.
Yay. Hi.
Sly's like, Gundam. I mean, I'm here so I don't get fined. That's Sly
I'm
right
here
now.
So I don't get fined. I'm here. Yeah, any questions? I'm just here so I don't get fined.
There you go.
Gundam.
Fair. Gundam. Is that gonna? I wonder how many things you're gonna answer to me today with just Gundam. Gundam. That's it. That's all it's gonna be.
Yeah.
How's your week been? Never mind. I don't know why I'm asking. I was asking fairly, but I realized I was already setting it up.
My week's been pretty long ever since Tuesday. Like Monday was the day I rested. I knew it was gonna be a long week. And since Tuesday, put it like this, yesterday I streamed for about 16 hours. The days before were probably like on average 12 hours. So yeah, that's been my week.
That's a hell of a week. I know that feel, except that I have been very, very tired. I think the 24 hours I was awake on Tuesday didn't bode well for me. For it was like Wednesday I was fine, but by Thursday I was like,
yeah.
So, and I'm still a little bit that way today. Yeah, that was you yesterday?
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it always happens. It's always got that delay. Like, you think you're okay the day after, but then, like, one more day goes by and your body, like, it's run out. It's just, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sly, I hate to pull you away from Soul Hackers and Gundam as much as I'm sure you're enjoying the patch so far. You know those are...
Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll get to that.
All right.
I got stuff to say.
I already know one thing you're going to say. I don't even need you to say it. I understand that you're clearing room on your back wall already. I understand it. You don't even need to tell me. So, before we get started, show's of course sponsored by Steelseries. We have the August giveaway going on YouTube, so be sure to enter. In any region that Steelseries ships to, as long as they have stock, we'll be able to make good on that giveaway. So, go ahead, enter that, and if not, we have a 12% discount code all the time. Also, Advanced GG. That's newer one. This is just hydration. There's no caffeine in this, Sly. I don't drink the energy because I have caffeine. I drink the energy at 1 in the morning when there's a patch. Like, what's going to happen this Tuesday? I have a 30% discount code for this. That's big discounts right there. That's big money saved. But yeah, hydration, energy, and focus formulas. For those long gaming hours, I recommend hydration because I know y'all don't hydrate. They don't, Sly. I know you do. You got that Liquid Death on hand.
Yeah, Liquid Death, sparkling ice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sly keeps it real, so you should too. So they're another sponsor, 30% off. And of course, Patreon, who just do it for love. They're just there because they love us and we love them back.
We love them. Yes, we love you all.
We do. Sly, I feel like Sly he's the more loving of the two of us. I get that feeling like Sly's got that deep love. So he's like 51% of the love. Sly doesn't know what to say to that. He's just like,
that's a good percentage. I'll take that.
Yeah, you have majority ownership of love. I was watching Shark Tank like all day yesterday.
Wow.
The 51% thing is just in my head right now. All right. So anyway, yeah, we are going to be talking about 6.2. We are not going to be withholding spoilers. This will not be a spoiler-free show, but it is not a spoiler cast. That we're going to do a separate show for. I don't think we can really... Like, the story is like 70% of like what there is to talk about. What are we going to do, Sly? Go, oh, man, that was so cool. I wish I could talk about it. But, no spoilers.
Right.
Though I suppose we could just do the whole show on the island sanctuary. If we could just skip the story altogether.
I mean, that would be the majority your thing.
I'm running around my island right now with see this free. This hand is for the show to make people think I'm not distracted.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this. when you got in on Tuesday, what did you do first?
So my static wanted to get together and do just the combat related stuff first. So I immediately jumped into Pandemonium Normal, watched all the cutscenes, did all the stories. So that was the first thing. Then we had to do MSQ, so we had to get up to the trial in order to unlock that. And I wrapped my day as soon as I was done with the EX trial at like 5 times. Just because I wanted to get the extreme guide out, and I did. I got it out that night. So that was my whole first day, and I was awake 24 hours for that.
Okay. So my first day, I logged in. I was in Idleshire. I sold.
I did do that too.
I sold the Unreal mount for 20 mil.
Damn, yours actually sold. Mine got undercut so fast because Gilgamesh has so many people.
I already had a deal with somebody. And
okay. That person's an idiot.
No, they're not. Stop it. Shut up.
That shit dropped in price so quick.
And then I sold the minion for 10 mil.
That's reasonable.
And then I started making the crafted set. And I spent the majority of the day making crafted sets. And that day alone, I made 121 million gil. The sum of the 2 days, I've made 128,154,203 gil.
That's a very exact number. Why did you write down the exact number? Was it for this moment?
I kept track of it. Just how much I made. Yeah. So yeah, first day I just made like a bunch of sets. Did normal, business normal. And that was my first day. Second day, I did MSQ. Went to EX a little bit. Going in tomorrow with my raid, so we can do it together.
Yeah.
Did a little bit of Island Sanctuary, made more sets, more money, yada yada yada.
Very, very productive day. Yeah, for money, I sold the mount, but mine got undercut a bunch, so it was under 10 million by the time mine sold because I just went straight to the market board. But I also, we very surprisingly, we got crafted Titania weapons, and so I keep a back supply of old primal weapons just for that. So I sold like 4 or 5 of the dancing wings because I don't craft, so I just sell the wing. So those were like $1 million to $1.1 million each. So that was really nice as well. I got a few orchestrions from the normal, sold those for like 700K to $1 million. Yeah, it was good. I mean, even just casually, just like throwing in like a few things up on the board, even I put up like 15, 16 mil, and I already have 300 mil. So it's not like I need it very much. It's just icing on the cake, really. But funny thing is, I actually want to talk about the money aspect the most. This was probably the best money-making crafting patch we've had, despite what we expected.
And see, the ridiculous part about that is that, we have a week. We had from Tuesday, we had a week until Savage.
Yeah.
And people were still on their sets and everything. So I was like, yeah, hit me up. I pretty much got all the mats and everything. And thank God. Okay. Honestly, I'm glad, I majority of this was not even market board. It was just people just wanted sets. The stupid part about the market board, I was on early enough that I cornered the market board. Like nobody had put shit up crafted. I cornered the market board. I was a little bit ridiculous about mine. So I put up a chest for like 10 mil because I knew nobody's gonna buy it. And I kind of lower it. I go like 6 mil. I thought that's fair. Next thing you know, I see people start actually getting on the market board, like after me. It's like, oh, I'll just put this on here for 2 mil. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiot? Are you trying to make money? No.
They are, and they know nobody's buying for 6 million.
No, and see, that's the thing. You could have put maybe 5 mil, made something.
People aren't gonna buy it for 5 million. Like it's an ornate body goes for 10 million.
No. Shit, that went for 18, 20.
Yeah, you can get more, but 10 is like a
Yeah.
decent
Yeah.
ornate body.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Like to jump from like maybe 6 mil to 2 mil, I mean, you're limiting, like I know from experience, like the first hour, not even an hour, maybe 30 minutes is your chance to maybe make a little bit of money. And they fucked themselves. They really fucked themselves setting a bar that low. Yeah, I can understand 2 mil after like an hour and a half, but shit, if you are the first, one of the first on the board, you dictate the board. You dictate it, and then the person after that really has the chance to just screw it up, and that's pretty much what they did. They just screwed themselves, but that's okay. I made my 128 million. I'm good. I'm still mad about that though.
No, there's no way, because people know how quick those drop in price. But despite that, so the day one, what I seem to notice was there was a shortage in supply. The large reason being all the people who normally wake up to craft for the Raiders day one didn't. They didn't bother. So the supply was a lot lower, but people were still generally looking to buy. And at 1.5, 2 million a piece, most people who are like serious raiders will actually pick it up for that if they're not crafters, or even people who are just taking advice and have spare money. So the prices have held pretty steady at like even $1 million-ish, several days down the line. And it's just because people are not going out of their way to make them. So the supply demand worked out in such a way that outside of that like 1% that craft exclusively for raiders first thing on wake up, everyone probably made a lot more money this patch than they have in previous crafting patches.
Not like me.
That's how it seemed to me. I just never seen prices hang this high. I was like, oh, by end of day, I'll buy them. Like the literally last tier and the tier before that, by end of day, it was 120K for a body piece for me. I just bought them off the board at that point.
Yeah.
Not the case this time. I'm impressed. So that's one issue we can scratch off for the whole 1 week delay thing. Scratch that motherfucker right out, because that argument don't hold up anymore.
I mean, really, for me, the majority of it, like I spent several million on just mats in general, just to get like stay topped up on mats that way. And that's really honestly how I got on the board really quick, was just buying mats so I didn't have to go gather. Honestly, I didn't like, I saw where the nodes possibly were. I'm like, fuck that. I'm just gonna get it and just go ahead and start making it. And that's how I got on the board first.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And I'm like, maybe there are some raiders who want to like get their shit, get it done, not even have to worry about it next week. And some of them happen to be my raiders. So, yeah. So yeah.
Convenient.
Really convenient. So really the next thing I just gotta make for my group is food and pots, because they get that free. Like again, I'm drug food daddy. They get that every week for free. Just like gotta let me know what they need.
Yeah, I gotta buy those still. I mean, I don't really care. I have so much money that.
And the one ridiculous thing about that, speaking of which, the one ridiculous thing about that, pots are now behind astrology mats. They are not gatherable anymore. You have to for the pots, the mistletoe is an astrology mat instead of being a gatherable mat, which I thought was weird and stupid.
I love it, because it means that when I don't need pots, I just sell mistletoe. You're like the whole patch forever. It'll always be worth something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's they did it during Shadowbringers also. It was astrology mats going into the follow-up tiers. Or I'm sorry, there was Tombstone mats going into the follow-up tiers. And I loved it, because I made money literally year round. Every hunt train, I just go buy some shit, throw it on the board. It's just every hunt train just becomes a fucking money pit. Or a money mine. Or if it's a money pit, I'm reaching in and grabbing and pulling it back out between materia and free tomes. So yeah, that's a nice like consistent thing for the rest of the patch. I was just impressed at how well the market held up, and still is holding up today, 5 days later. So since we were talking about making money, I figured I'll start on something that has nothing to do with the actual contents of the patch and is more the result of the patch, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the content of the patch, where would you like to begin?
Let's go ahead and start with the Abyssos.
Abyssos, yeah. This was one of my favorite normal raid tiers we've had in a long time. When was the last one I like really, really enjoyed? I don't know. It's been a while.
Midas?
No, I mean no Midas. I mean that's going back a little too far. I'm sure my memory of Midas normal is skewed from like my experience at the time versus that. I mean, there's Omega has quite a few decent ones. Deltascape, no. Sigmascape, no. I think Alphascape I was okay with normal mode because I thought
Alphascape probably.
But I think favorite normal mode tier it might be Eden. I mean Eden Creator is up there. I'm not Eden Creator. Eden Promise. Alexander Creator also a very good one. But yeah, I mean this was a big step up for me in every regard except for one. There's one place I still think they need to work on with normal modes. Starting with the story before the fights, I'm just not even gonna bother making predictions for the last one because this is one of those stories you just don't ever know exactly what's like. You maybe are like kind of on a path. Like I thought there was gonna be some cloning nonsense here, and I was kind of right, but
yeah, kind of.
It also is nothing like what I had thought or suggested in any way.
Yeah. I just think the third and fourth fight will be the most interesting. Tree shenanigans are going to be like really fucked and savage. And I cannot wait to see. I really cannot wait to see it because like I love and hate at the same time really unique raids like this where, you know, positioning is key. And, you know, you have limited stuff, limited platforming, I guess you could say. Because, yeah, that's definitely going to be a thing. 4 kind of reminded me a little bit of, I don't know why, but Ramu.
The arena, yeah. You know what? It's because of the arena kind of like...
Yeah,
I get what you mean. Anyway. Yeah, all the lines and everything. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. The fight doesn't, but like, yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from with that. Yeah. The story for that though, it was just I was thinking about the story more than the fights most of the time, just because I really like the direction they took of kind of it. I really don't know where the last tier is going, except that shit's really fucked up because Pandemonium is now in the present. It's in the Itoscope, but it's in the present.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if they were going to do it because Pandemonium is kind of this weird bit where they kind of go back and forth on their time travel rules of predetermined destiny versus branching timelines. You know, we had the Crystal Tower going back in time, creating a branching timeline. Whereas ever since we've gone back to Elpis, it's been, well, nothing you do there can negatively impact. It has to be that you did something there that results in our current future. Whereas now Pandemonium is in the present, so that's kind of it's not that it undoes that, but it kind of abandons the idea of like focusing on what happened back then, and instead focuses on what the result of that is. It's like we've caught up to it time-wise, like where it's supposed to be in the timeline. And Foshina also being involved now is not something I had foreseen.
Me either.
Wonder if the twins are going to hear about this through the grapevine in any capacity.
Yeah, probably not.
I wouldn't hate it, but...
I mean, it's been a while since we had them involved in, you know...
Yeah.
Raid shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly. It's been a while. You know, they haven't, Alice and Alphanook all the way back to Final Coil. We had Thancred and Ordeon J in the last one, and then, you know, Shadows of Mach, we didn't have any of the Scions with us for that.
Right.
So, we get to talk about Shadows of Mach in a little bit. But, I mean, we went through all the Hemitheos, all the wards. The entirety of Pandemonium's cleared out at this point. Like, Abyssos ended up being everything that was left. Even Tartaros, like, it's weird as we go into Tartaros as an Abyssos floor. Which I really thought they would say. I mean, they might still save Tartaros for the final two. Like, they might, like, use it as the naming convention still. But
yeah,
it felt like they just covered so much ground in like story, backstory, and physically inside of Pandemonium. Yeah,
so quickly.
But it didn't feel rushed so much as it just felt like there was no point in wasting time catching monsters, like just random monsters anymore. They're like, that's what we did for the first tier. We recaptured a bunch of stuff, or dealt with Hesperos, and now they want to, the direction's a lot clearer. So I was a big fan of the pacing and the outcome, and Laha Brea, Daddy Brea, Laha Daddy,
Daddy Brea,
yeah,
Laha Daddy, and Athena being not the mom that we thought she was.
It's funny because we talked about Athena in a previous show and how she's actually not supposed to be very nice. And so the fact that she was so revered was kind of strange, but we never really thought that they were going to go the Athena's actually very fucked up in the head kind of scenario. And that's exactly where they went. It's funny because it actually does reflect back to Athena and Ericdonio's real history in Greek lore. One of the Greek mythology. She in one of the tellings is she trapped Ericdonios in a box and she sent it to the mortal realm, and Pandemonium, I guess in this case, kind of is the box. So that was the thing. He was supposed to like eventually come out, and then he was supposed to like overthrow everything. But I mean, maybe he still could end up being our Laha Brea by the end of it all. We'll see. We'll see. As for the fights, normal mode, so obviously always a little tempered. The fights in normal mode are always they're fun the first time, and then after that, you realize how formulaic they are, and remember they're normal mode. So, but I gotta say, I would not want to duty finder some of these Sly on normal mode.
I want duty finder any of these.
No, Carbuncle's fine. I even I'd imagine some people dying, but Carbuncle's whatever. The second fight, on the other hand, is I'm surprised. There's a lot of really tight movement and area control in the second normal mode.
Yeah,
I was shocked. There's like literally, there's one safe spot and a baited AoE, and then you either go left or right, or you're almost certainly getting hit. And that happens in multiple different combinations of attacks. So I was pretty surprised at how tightly they use the space, even in normal mode. I think that's the one that's going to be the worst in the party fight. I don't think it's going to be 3 this time. I think it's going to be 2.
Yeah, some people are saying that. I'm not envious of anybody on PF. Good luck, have fun. Hell, that might even stress out a few statics, I'd say.
Some people are not good. I'm somebody who finds myself generally weaker at these types of mechanics. People are not good at fake outs. Like the panels swapping the locations. People are not very good at tracking those kind of things. Even worse at then trying to plan their safe spaces for an AoE around it. So that's where I think there's going to be a lot of headaches going into that second fight. Luckily in normal, you can get away with some pretty big mistakes. I mean, in almost all of them you can, but in that one in particular, it's not the end of the world. When people die, it's very recoverable, But I don't know. I was still impressed by the way that they use the space in normal. I think it's very indicative of what we'll be seeing in Savage. And that's another thing. These are the most easy to predict Savage mechanics, I think, of a tier that I've seen. Even if I had only seen this the day of normal coming out, I think I would have instantly had figured out like at least some very, very basic Savage additions that are going to be made. Carbuncle, we're missing Emerald attacks. So that's when we have Ruby and Topaz. We don't have Emerald. I don't think they'll do Obsidian or Diamond or any of that. 6, there's a Claw. There's like the Spider Claw that never does anything except for swing behind her. That's almost certainly going to be a transmittable disease, a virus again. So, yeah, there's, in those first 2, there's that, and then just tighter use of the space, spread, split, stacks, no markers, maybe multiple movements of the panels, but then you get to 7.
The 7, again, once we actually start getting 10 references in-game, 7 gives me hope that we get a Spectral Keeper, raid with platforms.
You were like, of all the bosses, you want the boss before you dive into Xanarkand? That's the boss you want the most?
Spectral Keeper, yeah. I mean, it really reminded me of it. Like, oh, yeah, that platform's probably going to blow up. And it's just like, it just got hit really hard. But we're definitely going to get a Spectral Keeper one day.
It's not a boss I ever hear anyone refer to when they think of 10. Like everyone knows it, but I mean, it's right before a very major story boss in 10. I think nobody really gives a shit about Spectral Keeper. It's weird to hear that. Be like, I think more of like, on the top of the airship, like with Diamond Weapon, like that gives me flashbacks to 10 and stuff. So either way, the tree was very, very cinematic and also wasn't entirely orange. So big step up already from the tree from Phoenix to the tree. Big fucking step up from Phoenix to the tree. There's again some clear things missing. One of the saplings isn't used. An interesting thing, the trailer actually shows us a savage mechanic and not a normal mode mechanic to the tree. We now know the meteor placements and the combo in the trailer. There's 8 meteors, for example, there. That's savage if there's 8 meteors. There's only 4 meteors in normal. So a couple things in there, but also just the arena manipulation, the bosses. You know what I like? The bosses, I generally tend to think that bosses that stay in one place are the worst model for Final Fantasy 14 bosses. They have some decent ones. They have Neo Exdeath. They have Leviathan, specifically Eden Leviathan. But I always think it's their weakest model of boss to do the stationary one. But that's because they don't really use the space very well. And the normal mode feels like space being used very well. It didn't feel like there was just one or two reasons for you to understand why the arena was shaped the way it is or worked the way it was. Almost everything had some sort of interaction with the shape of the arena. So I think they've got a good one on their hands.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel like E7. Was E7 with the bird?
E3.
Yeah,
E3. Like, Leviathan used the arena, but I always felt like it didn't use the arena enough. I don't know. And I just did Leviathan again, so I was like, yeah, this fight was good. Like, I didn't dislike Leviathan.
No, I was meaning the birds.
Oh, the birds. Yeah, no, the birds. Yeah, that was a terrible, terrible one. That was one of the worst. That was them trying to use the arena and fucking it up. Like, I don't even know how they managed that. The only thing that I really like about that still to this day is the ad phase. The rotating, like keeping them apart that's still the only part of E7 that I look back on with decent memories. But this I was really, really impressed with the normal mode here. And again, there's still just a bunch of like the punches, for example, that knock people off. I expect that's going to have like a different indicator that doesn't give you arrows, and there's going to be splits and stacks and you know, there's all sorts of things. I'm getting very Neo Exdeath, but actually a tree this time vibes. That's always got to be a tree every time. I think what do you think the last ad's going to be? There's the mouth sapling is the final unseen ad. I think it's one of two things.
So we had bird, we had doggo.
Well, I guess more the effect. The ad itself is less relevant.
Oh, the effect.
So. Yeah, because we have a line AoE, we have a point blank. So I think there's really only two options left, and both of them make sense.
So, what, maybe like a dynamo or hell, I don't know.
Cone is the only other one that comes to mind. Cone is honestly the one that I think of more. Donut, I don't know. I feel like a donut makes more sense, given that we have a point blank coming from one of them. But if it was a cone, you'd pretty much be locked onto just the sides of the platform at that point, of the platform where the cone is coming from. So it kind of achieves the same thing as a donut, but it just changes the way that the space can be used.
Yeah, now that I'm picturing it, yeah, you're right.
It's hard to tell, but I feel like it'd be more interesting if it was a cone, personally. I don't think this is the fight for a donut AoE. I don't want the Gordon Ramsay AoE. Other than that, man, I mean, there's a lot of ideas. I think it's going to be right chaos. And I think they know that given the size of the hitbox. Hitbox is the arena. They weren't messing around on that one. And I'm glad. It's refreshing because I actually really liked Asphodelos even after, weeks and weeks and weeks of doing it. Whenever I go back and I do those fights, I actually really enjoy them still. I think it was one of the best first tiers that we've had. And it's for me right up there with Eden's Gate, minus a couple of things that I think are, interchangeable between the two. This one's really up there for Savages though. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I have a good feeling about this one. This fight in particular, this third fight, and they have a terrible track record with third fights in second tier, Sly. Awful track record. Birds is one. Guardian is one. And
I didn't think Guardian was
Guardian is I think Guardian's one of the worst. I honestly I don't even know if I'd rather do Guardian over Birds. I fucking hated Guardian. Some of it was because it was a 12.5-minute third fight. Some of it was because it just wasn't very interesting after the first 50%. That was a big thing. That was a huge problem across all of Stormblood.
It got a little boring. I'll admit that. But the first part of Guardian was good.
Yeah, the problem is for me is it aged before I was done with it. Yeah, and the last one was the Illuminati. It was Twinkle Dix. He was in Midas.
Twinkle Dix in the little row. And
well, this was actually All Thoughts, but Twinkle Dix was 5. Yeah, it was All Thoughts. I just like calling the one goblin Twinkle Dix. So, but no, yeah, All Thoughts was 7. He was fine. I never really felt one way or the other about it, but it was certainly. It was a better balanced fight than A3S at the very least, which was the tier before. But A3S is kind of a different story altogether.
All Thoughts had the
the ball,
the Crusher, the Crusher in the mid phase, right? Where we're trying to well, not a bulldozer, but the one with the.
There's a giant ball rolling around. Is All Thoughts.
Oh no, okay.
No, the bulldozer is that's A10. Specifically, that's the second fight in the third tier, which is I just random tangent. Really love that fight still to this day. Yeah,
that one's fun.
Yeah, that's the same goblin that reappears in Eureka, the A10 goblin. He actually reappears in a couple places too. That one's Twinkle Dix. The one I'm thinking of is the scientist. When I said A5 earlier, that's the scientist. I don't remember his name. Yeah, Lame Bricks Twinkle Dix. There you go. That's his name. It's Twinkle Dix, but he's Twinkle Dix. All right. Yeah, and then the final fight here, probably the weakest fight in normal, and this is the one point that I said, this is the one thing they really need to fucking figure out for normal mode. If you're gonna do a boss that's half of a boss, make it a full boss in normal mode. They really, really struggle with this, of making a normal mode boss that isn't so blatantly just ripped apart and brought to its most basic elements to make it like a less satisfying thing on normal. Like, do I really give a shit about the normal mode version? No. Do I think that means it shouldn't feel like a full fight? No, it should feel like a full fight. This feels like it's half a fight before you even finish it. It's like when we did Kefka and they were like, oh yeah, Dancing Mad's over. They just fucking shut down half of like one of the most popular songs in the entire franchise to door boss him. That was fucked up. That was so fucked up. Yeah, it feels like it's missing so many components. And I'm not saying it needs to be harder either. It just feels half done. None of the other fights to me feel half done. But it's still cool. I like it. I think it'll be a good Savage fight. I just wish the normal mode didn't feel pathetic. It's sad almost. It's like, oh, Hippocampus, what does it do? It jumps 4 times. Ooh. Well, that's what Hippocampus did in the original. And it's like, don't drag down normal mode Hippocampus because you didn't want to make a jump more than 4 times. Come on. Either way, that's going to be a door boss.
Yeah.
Sly, do you know that we know this already? Because of the Orchestrion. Your Orchestrion has a track that says it's only obtainable in Savage, and I'll be damned if that's... I don't think it's a two-phase boss. I'm pretty confident it's a door boss. I don't think this is like a Shiva situation.
Okay.
But yeah, it's called white something, or it's like white something black or black something white. Like white fold black or black fold white or something like that is the name of the track. White Stone Black. That's what it is. Yeah. I knew it was white word black or black words white. I knew it was one of the, White Stone Black is the name of the Savage track according to the Orchestrion roll. And yeah, so we've got some fucking chaos because this dude's transforming into the bosses that we fought already. He transforms into a hippocampus. He transforms into the Gorgon from 2 fights prior to it, the Hematheos. Hegemony, that's the one. And he also just has the La Habrea form, which has some Hesperos stuff with the puddles.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. Although I think it's just going to be fire puddles. I think he'll send phoenixes into puddles. I think he'll do like, it's like 2 phoenixes, 2 donut AoEs, 2 split damage AoEs. You need to like split up, blah, blah, blah. He's got hot wing. He's got hot tail. He's got hot wing and hot tail, but he's also going to be able to do them horizontally in Savage. You can see with the lines on the ground. Yeah, he's got Eric's chains from the first fight. He's got 4-fold fire instead of 4-fold chains, pretty much, or whatever. Yeah. So he's borrowing a lot of stuff, which means that pretty much everything we've seen before. He's very final bossy, and I feel like they did that on purpose because of the story. Mm-hmm. He's very final bossy. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Just make sure we keep the orange to just a few AoEs. Because there was some orange in there, and everyone's like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't care if it's a good orange, a bad orange. I don't want to see it. That's it. Keep it to a minimum. That's it.
Elma returns.
You know what's funny? Because of what happens in the start of the story, I'm almost positive we're going to see the little teeth phoenix hatchlings again.
Oh, God.
I mean, he literally already, like, in a cutscene, like, talks to us with
Used it, yeah.
So, clearly he's not fucking around. He's just going to do everything, so.
Great.
I can't wait. I think it's going to be a really good tier. I don't think this tier is going to be diminished by the weapon. I think the mechanics, just looking at normal mode, are going to feel satisfying to the point where we don't really care as much about the fact that we are probably going to overgear it a little bit, like right from the get-go.
Yeah.
All right. Either way, great second tier. If there was ever a tier I wanted a quest between point 2 and point 4 to connect it, so it keeps it exciting, it's this one. Definitely this one.
Okay.
Now moving on to the MSQ, on the other hand. Also a very exciting MSQ.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for Final Fantasy IV fans either. I felt like while they kept the fanfare very, very high. And by the way, did you notice what happens if you get zombied in Hegemony?
No.
You do a Final Fantasy IV attack animation when you're the zombie. It's literally you're standing still, and you know how in like old school Final Fantasies when the characters want to attack, they like take a step forward and then they like swing like this. That's what you do. You do this, you're like It's a nice little flavor, which is funny because there's nothing Final Fantasy IV in the raid at all, but they just did that for whatever reason. I don't know why, but you know what? It's that. But yeah, they tugged on a lot of nostalgia strings, but this is what, when I say I don't like bad, what do I call Omega again? Whenever I say Omega's bad,
bad nostalgia.
No, it's this very specific. What?
What, like a bad use of nostalgia? Because that's
bad fan service. There you go. I feel like Omega's bad fan service because it's literally just like, yeah, we don't have a reason, just fuck it, just throw them in there, don't incorporate them at all. This is good fan service.
Yeah, we had reasons, and I'm so glad the majority of this MSQ was in the void. Like, we were just there, and we have so many reasons to be there. We found so much stuff out. God, it was just so good. And the dungeon, and well, okay, let's talk about the dungeon.
Okay,
let's talk about the dungeon proper. Let's talk about getting so much use out of the dungeon after the fact.
Maybe a little too much use in my opinion. Maybe a little too much use.
A little too much use. I mean, it's basically like, it basically was like what's it called? What's the mode called? Explorer mode, or
yeah,
what is it called?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's all it was. That's all it was. Like, just Explorer mode.
So in Explorer mode, I can click on a thing and teleport to all the other sections at least.
But they at least let you use your mount, and not a lot of people knew that. Yeah. Not a lot of people knew that you could use your mount. Yeah, and everybody's like, I didn't know I could use my mount. Well, fuck, I just wasted a bunch of time. But yeah, like, the dungeon itself was really good. It was really well done. As we're going to the dungeon, as we're going through a dungeon, I'm seeing like these portraits of, you know, actual people, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
she's cute.
Of course,
she's cute.
Sly immediately turning on. Well, I guess turning on. Yeah, there you go.
Pretty much. I'm like, well, okay, there are people in the void. Okay, this was a place.
I mean, we knew that. It was just they've kept it intact is what's surprising. Like that element of its history from 12,000 years ago at this point is still intact. More so than anything else.
Yeah.
I'm more focused on like the warping effects of the void, because every structure we've really seen in the void before Troya is, if it's not so necessarily warped, it's just kind of beat up. Whereas this was like pretty fucked up in like ways that is not usual. Like, we never saw like the light change anything kind of drastically outside of Vothri, you know, throwing Mount Golg into the air.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, otherwise they just like stripped it of it. Just all it did is it just stripped everything of all of its, like, as like it didn't even strip it. It did the opposite. It froze it. Everything just looks frozen. Whereas this is actually kind of like infecting everything because it's like constantly in motion. So I was a fan of the dungeon. There's a lot of running back and forth throughout the dungeon. And I was like, I can already do this with Explorer mode. I kind of liked when we left the dungeon, but we were still in the void. Yeah. I mean, although we can't go back there for a while. Once you leave, you actually can't go back for quite some time, you know, until the next major patch. Even I thought that was kind of a mistake. I get the lore reasons why, but you know, people want to just like be able to go there and do screenshots. Be able to go there
and just talk and whatnot. Did you talk to that one squid?
Probably. It was so early in the morning. I don't remember.
God damn. I was trying to remember what he was referencing. Like, he was talking about a guy who, was it I don't think it was Hawk. Like a beautiful guy that summoned him, and then he got summoned back to the goldsmith? Was it the goldsmith?
The Gudanian goldsmith. What a time.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Wow. Okay. I was wondering, like, in the moment when I talked to like the mind player looking one, I was like, what is he referencing? Yeah. That. Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff tied in there, and that's it. It just really felt like they were trying to take everything we'd learned about the void and either confirm it or elaborate on it. It's pretty interesting to see how close a lot of the Encyclopedia Eorzea entries are to what we see in there, because that's you got to remember, Encyclopedia Eorzea is written from the perspective of scholars in game, so it's not just you know, Oda-san or at the time Koji writing stuff for the sake of exposition. It's supposed like it can be technically wrong or retconned because it's from an in-game perspective. But a lot of the Void stuff that's from there is fairly accurate between the different rungs and the class hierarchy versus the way that their inability to die, consistency even from the previous raid tiers that have dealt with the Void. They managed to take what is pretty old lore when it comes to the Void, and they didn't really have to do a whole lot to kind of just put it back in the forefront. It was very natural.
Yeah.
And sometimes let's just say it's a far cry from the Crystal Tower becoming a time travel machine. It's certainly a very, very different thing in terms of storytelling and shock value.
Yeah.
It was really just learning more about the Void Sent themselves, and that even as ravenous beasts, they are kind of still sentient.
Intelligent.
Yeah, and intelligent. Like even among the weaker ones that we meet, it's not like the Sin Eaters, which kind of all became mindless.
It's literally survival of the fittest with hierarchy. Everybody feeds on one another, and then the stronger make the weaker their minions.
Yep. Which is kind of you'd expect that the whole world would have died at some point, because if the only way to die is to be eaten, and the only way they get satisfied is by eating. So I understand that they have to go through all the living forms that have ever existed on the planet before there's no food source anymore. But there has to be a finite amount technically there. One would at least expect it to work that way. But I mean, I guess we don't.
Gilgamesh must have a really big fucking army then, because like, I mean, what's left? Rubicante and Cagnazo. I mean, they must have quite the number of minions. Barbarisha probably had.
One would imagine. I do wonder how much of their continued existence is void gates opening up on the shards, and like occasionally bringing things in, kind of section. Yeah. So I wonder if that plays a role. I mean, but even then, even across all that, I still shudder to think of the idea of them running out of food in there, and the food is each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it just depends, because Chet does bring up some of the points. Like, even though you can be eaten, if what ate you is killed and not eaten, then everything that was eaten is now alive again.
Yeah.
So it's not like a permanent destruction of ether. It's just a reformatting, if you will. But man, we spend all this time in Troya, and we get to meet our Xenos avatar, who has nothing to do with Xenos other than being his avatar.
Yep.
She has no name initially. And and she is apparently only part Void Sent and not technically a full Void Sent. Do you know what that makes her, Sly? That means she is the Void equivalent of Vothri, who was. Yep, he was a child. He was a human child who was half Sin Eater, pretty much.
Damn, you're right.
Yep. So basically, still completely sentient, human in a decent number of ways. She just she. How do I put this? He doesn't start hot. He has to work his way there.
So what? Vothri was what? Innocence, EX Innocence. That was his. His trial.
Yeah, that was. Even he says it.
We're gonna get guilt EX with 0 guilts. Gonna have to fight 0. I mean, I would be down.
There's a big theory going around with her, and I wouldn't be too surprised if it were to amount to something. But essentially, what we learn is that Fandaniel helped Xenos bind a Void Sent, because he doesn't know how to do that shit, and it just warped her and just turned her into that pure Void Sent form. But our Heidelin crystal that we very conveniently get before going into the void sheds her of that form. And now she's mostly human looking, but still has all the urges of a void sense. She needs to feed. She needs to eat ether. She needs to obtain it in some way. And that becomes a constant crux. Yeah, she's all of it. She's literally Lucifer. She's just like,
right.
Detective!
I'll do it for a price.
Yeah.
I'll do it for a price. Yeah.
What is it you desire? Actually, no, I'm sorry. That X-Death is Lucifer. What do you desire? Yeah. There you go. But she's always making deals. So that's, she is the other part of it. It was nice to get a new character after a while. It's been a hot minute since we've really had a new main character in a sense, a new exciting main character, I suppose. Like even looking at Endwalker, it was we got the Gleaner, and he kind of just came and went in a sense, and we got Julius. Fucking, I don't care. For the main story stuff. So, it's just but now we have Edgelord Zero. She's learning. Yeah, I guess I got Real Hythlodaeus. Real Hythlodaeus is the true highlight of Endwalker. No, Medion, it's whatever. She's a bird now. She's got, no one cares. She's not coming back. They're never gonna do that again. She's gonna fly around as a bird forever.
Yep.
We're gonna keep Zero for at least a little while. at least a few patches at the very. A few
patches before we add a must to that name.
Yeah. That's the going theory, that she's gonna become Zero Muss.
I don't like that theory.
A lot of people actually don't. It's like the name draws attention.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an easy thing to draw to, and it's like, I don't like that theory. I don't like it.
I like to imagine that every time she swings her scythe, she actually goes hoo ha hoo. Do you understand that reference?
X4.
There you go. Proud of you. Not everybody gets that reference. Not everybody memorizes.
I played enough X4 to know that noise.
Not everybody memorizes Mega Man X4 Zero's fucking attack noises.
Slash.
Yeah, his basic fucking attack.
God. His basic combo. And that's what you'd hear for about an hour of your playthrough.
If not, also hearing the sound of the hit invulnerability from Zero swinging his sword, because you hear that a lot with Zero. The dink, 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 dink. Fucking Christ. Yeah, the great sounds. Thank you, Mega Man X4. Good game. Anyway. So we go throughout Troya, we kill Scarmiglione the first time, and they do go kind of the first route we predicted with Scarmiglione, where he comes back again, and they do it in a solo instance to kind of explain Zero and give her some story. It's really less about Scarmiglione and more about Zero, that little solo instance, and sandwiching kind of some lore for her and establishing what her powers are. And it works fairly well. It was a little weird to go from Dungeon Scarmiglione to solo instance Scarmiglione and almost not the other way around. But it worked. It's not like there was an actual problem with it, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we learn that she is the daughter of what was known as a Memoriate prior to the Void turning into, the Void when it was just the 13th. They were essentially warriors of light in a sense and an equivalence. When they kill a Void scent, they turn it into a crystal, and that's their way of keeping them dead, or at least keeping them not in an alive state entirely. And her mother was a Memoriate. She was a Memoriate, but she was also apparently infected before she was born. Like some of the darkness from the Memoriate crystals kind of infects her, and that's why she's only part Void scent. But eventually these Memoria, the name of the crystals that they become, they started turning people, which we knew. We had previously associated that with Auracite. Aloha, did you just eat too quick? I coughed up a fur ball. What a bad time to cough up a fur ball, Aloha. Gonna have to clean that because that's gonna leave a nasty smell. Yeah, get the fur ball all the way out, Aloha. There you go. Proud of you, buddy. Well, I'm going to finish my point, and I'm going to ask you to start your point, and then I am going to clean that up.
Clean up the furball.
Yeah, I got to clean up. Yeah. No, don't throw it up there. Hold on, let me move that. There you go. Come on. You got it. Okay, that's just the one last little one. Fucking aloha, man. No peace. No justice, no peace. They do actually bring up the fact that on the source, we had theorized it was Orosite, and that it was something that worked like Orosite. They bring it up, but then it just kind of gets shoved down. It's like, oh, I guess if that's what you call them, sure. I guess that's fine.
It's similar.
I wonder how similar, though, because what's implied with the Orosite is that it is less, well, at least with white Orosite, it's less of a permanent prison, which we wonder, is that going to be the case? It would work with Final Fantasy IV's lore if they were not permanently trapped inside of these Memoria, and they probably aren't. They're almost all certainly going to break free of their Memoria. Yeah, Aloha? You good? Oh, that's Ivy now jumping down to see what's going on. Now you want to get in the mix? Yeah? Fucking cats, man. Dying over here. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, the Orosite. It's less of a permanent solution, so we don't really know how effective these Memoria are going to be in this entire endeavor.
So you think they're going to break out?
I think if she's going to become Zeramis, it's because she's going to have all of their Memoria at once. I think it's going to be an influx of Memoria, if anything at all. Because, I mean, it can't be... If it's already backfired once... why would I not just assume it's going to backfire again a second time?
King, that's a good point. I didn't know that. Where the fuck is Unokalhai in the middle of all this? Like,
he's on the first. He's busy. He's busy trying to come up with. To be fair, we should really tell him, hey, you know how you're like trying to learn this void magic, so we could kind of go. We're way ahead of you on that. I haven't tried to go speak to him either. You can go speak to him on the first.
Yeah, I know. I feel like him and his Avengers should know.
Oh, he does have new dialogue. There you go. See, we tell him. He's like, "Fuck! Do I have to come all the way back to the sword? God damn it!" There you go. Just fucking pissed. He's like, "God damn it! Just come on, take me back. I gotta see this." Ivy. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're now trying to deal with these 4 fiends. We have a method of killing them, but it's not really a great method because it's already failed once before.
You still think we get a rematch with all the fiends?
I do think we get a rematch with all the fiends. I feel more so that way since 2 of them are already gone.
Okay.
Given I see now why they hid who the boss was. I don't think they needed to. I think they just wanted to.
It was just a matter of guessing which one. Like it was a 1 in 3 shot. Like I really feel like it was again, I agree with you. It's unnecessary for a 1 in 3 shot.
I think the reason they did it is because I think everyone logically landed on the conclusion of Cagnazzo being the second fiend, because that's the order of Final Fantasy IV. And Yoshi P himself said we're going to do weakest to strongest. That's the weakest to strongest order is Scarbiglione, Cagnazzo, Barbaricha, and Rubicante. That's not what they ended up doing. So they just, to hide that, if they had said it's Cagnazzo, well, then it's everyone automatically goes, oh, then it's Barbaricha. Then it's like they're just doing it in order of Final Fantasy IV. So they kept it a secret so we wouldn't know that they weren't doing the order of Final Fantasy IV. Which just leads to us kind of thinking, okay, well, now we know this, that, and that. Now it's even now after seeing it's Barbaricha second, it's we now know that it's not so predictable in order. There's not even a guarantee really that it just goes Cagnazzo, Rubicante, Golbez, or anything like that. There's other possibilities or probabilities. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Cagnazzo Rubicante double battle, given the way that the story kind of unfolds for the rest of it. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, if we really give credence to the whole Zeramis thing, then yeah, it's possible. Cagnazzo and Rubicante, and then Zeramis as our final trial of the expansion.
Yeah, I think that predicting it based on Final Fantasy IV lore, I think there's going to be enough tangent, but I think they've already established also enough that it's not worth relying solely on it. And that's for the better. That's definitely for the better.
It's not worth relying on it, but people will still rely on it.
I mean, it's hard not to do that. I mean, even when they
do, at this point, you can't stop it.
Yeah, even when you do good fan service. I mean, Crystal Tower in 14 is nothing like it is in Final Fantasy 3, but the events still generally transpire in a similar enough manner. You know, Xande still makes a deal with the Cloud of Darkness, and we have to go and defeat it in the Void. It's just there's these elements that are specific to 14 about how it's part of the Allagan tech, and Xande was trying to, you know, overcome death because of this reason or that reason, and what he had at his disposal. There's a whole bunch of elements that are very explicitly 14, and I think that's going to happen here too. And it's going to mean that the things that are tangential to Final Fantasy IV are less directly pulled from, and more like, okay, I see where they're drawing the lines left, you know. And that's where we get to, you know, Zero takes us to her domains. They explain what domains are. That's where we get a bunch of backstory and history on the Void and the Void Scent, and a better sense of how they actually function in the Void, and just how mindless or not mindless they are. And then Barbarisha shows up, and she's our trial.
Good old Barbarisha.
Yeah, it's funny seeing people who are not very well aware of her and comparing her to other 14 bosses, not realizing she came before all of them. And what's even more impressive is they didn't go with her Final Fantasy IV art. Well, her Final Fantasy IV sprite here.
No.
They went with her Amano artwork. And her Amano artwork has a sword, but it's not that big.
You're about that, Chief?
In the Amano artwork, it's not that big. Now it is.
Okay.
I also
like in the trial, I'm like, you sure about that, Chief?
now her sword's that big, but in the original artwork, it's not. And also now less about wind, more about hair. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know, but she's not even like, she's not wind element. She's hair.
That full Beyonce. She got that full Beyonce. Oh my god.
When was the last time Beyonce wrapped her whole body in hair, Bayonetta style, and fucking Attack on Titan punched me? I don't know. I'd love to know when it happened though.
I don't know. Goddamn.
They went crazy with her. I see why. I see why they kept more elements of this kind of a secret, because even if you knew who Barbarisha was, this was not the outcome you predicted. There's even a fun little Final Fantasy IV reference in her ultimate attack. You know how you defeat her in Final Fantasy IV?
Trying to remember. Go ahead and tell me.
Kane's jump disables her tornado. Here, she jumps to make a tornado. She is the one who jumps. I am the one who jumps. And she jumps high. You can fly? No. Jump high.
I mean, she gets that thickness in her legs. That's why she can jump so damn high.
Yeah, she really just she puts all her strength in her hair. That's what I'm saying. She's just got strong locks, man. Dude, Goldilocks is pissed. This is Goldilocks' true form. This is Tangled. This is the sequel. Yeah, she was a great fight, and on normal, very fast paced for a normal mode. I think trying to keep up with the Final Fantasy IV music that's playing more than anything. Because she doesn't fucking stop. She just literally never stops attacking. Ever. Oh yeah, Aloha, you throw up and now you want to eat? Is that how it's going to be? I still haven't cleaned that up yet. It's a good normal mode. It's probably the best normal mode trial we've had in a long time as well. At least in terms of just raw fun factor. And Singer normal is fine, but like I think this is a peak, I believe.
So you have hope for Cagnazzo and Rubicante as trials?
I'm not gonna say that because you got to remember that Sephiroth was really good, Sophia was good, and then Zervin existed. So I can't automatic. Also, Byaku, Suzaku, and Seiryu have wildly different quality.
Oh yeah.
So I can't in good conscience say that. What I can say is good start for the Fiends, at the very least, the Archfiends. But we take care of her, you know, when Zero gets exhausted, we take her back to the source, and then she starts eating apples. That's all she wants.
No,
now.
she removes the aether from apples.
No, but then she learns to eat the apple.
Then she'll eat it, yeah. That's all she wants is apples. She don't want no meat. Like,
yeah, I was like, give her some fucking meat. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Like, no, she needs something, to kind of, just kind of settle in. Like,
no.
Meat.
Meat. Give her meat. She will eat what I eat, and I eat meat.
Exactly.
Just saying.
She's not a turtle. What the hell?
Yeah, she's not a turtle. Yeah, I guess. But it is what it is. And actually, after she comes back, there, in case anyone forgot, there is a follow-up quest to the MSQ.
Yes.
That is what the Tale of Newfound Adventure was in the patch notes, and it just gives us some background on Barbariccia and Scarmiglione.
Mm-hmm. Barbariccia was angry.
Yeah, I can't blame her.
Angry.
I can't blame her for what happened after seeing it. She was not having that shit anymore. Her hatchet was kind of dull because she was beating him with the sharp end, and it was just like a blunt weapon. But other than that, yeah, she went nuts. And then Scarmiglione was a little bitch. He was a little bitch.
And it's kind of like what you said with not really Lucifer. It's just like, hey, you see, you're running. You want to fight him? Here you go. Here's a little bit of aether. Go ahead. Let me see something.
Yeah.
He just sits back and just watches.
Yeah, Golbez is trying to make deals nonstop. And I love it. I love the characterization of Golbez here. It's nothing like his Final Fantasy IV counterpart at all, and I think that's for the better. I'm not gonna lie, Sly. He's got some of Zonde's characteristics in him, and I can't help but feel like there's something more to that here. I can't help but
think we're getting a repeat of Alec?
I think, yeah, kind of. He talks about this Grand Crusade. Zonde was all about his Grand Crusade. He eventually became about overcoming death. That was his whole goal. And he's done, and Golbez essentially has done that, and there's only two things that Zonde cared about. The Crusade of Alec and overcoming death.
Okay.
It's very, very, very reminiscent. Not to mention that against Allag, as Dia flew into a void portal and ended up with Golbez, of all the people that could have ended up in captivity of, I don't know. I think we're gonna learn that at least he had something to do with, or more direct dealings with Zonde. I feel like they probably knew each other in some capacity at the very least. So they had brunch together. It's fine.
They had brunch. They went out for beers.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, you just need all the super burly, because Final Fantasy 3, 4, and 5, all their villains are like these giant buff armored knights or like giant buff dudes, just all at the fucking bar. X-Death there, just like, he's just at the bar. He's like, "Hey, you gonna hit on the waitress?" No, I don't think I should be barking up the wrong tree. It's like, X-Death, stop, please. We can't do the tree puns anymore. You need to stop.
boo, boo.
Do you
Terrible.
think I should leave? Little did you know why that works? Is Xdeath is a Saturday morning cartoon character. He literally is. It makes too much sense for him
all the fucking time. Stop.
Yeah. Besides, he doesn't want to settle down right then and there. He's really trying to branch out and make sure he has plenty of options.
Okay.
Perfect. There we go.
But yeah, that was MSQ.
Well, no. So there is actually one major thing that happens with Golbez that is very directly a Final Fantasy IV reference and is very in line with something Yoshi P told us about.
What's up?
Very quick detail. We see a still image of Golbez killing what looks to be the 13th Watcher on the moon. On the moon in front of Zodiark's sigil.
Yeah.
And then he turns around, holds his hand up to the moon, and then does the clenched fist thing. Talks about opening a gate. Yoshi P said the moons and the other shards would be important. They had a purpose for them. And they said Zodiark's gone. They said once he died on the source, he's gone. But something Golbez did on the moon. He might have taken a piece of Zodiark with him when they lost the 13th.
Moon's haunted.
Aloha. Stop. They clearly have moon shenanigans planned for him. Is the big thing. They've already Yoshi P's established they have moon shenanigans for the future, for the other shards. Final Fantasy IV, Golbez, Moon. We don't know. We don't know exactly what happened. But it looks to be the case, is all I'm going to say. That's my first thing when I see it. So I'm curious to see if that goes anywhere. But I think 6.5 ends with the Void opening a portal to all the shards and the source. I think that's his crusade. I think he's going to try to absorb everything into the Void. Remember I said that sooner or later they'll run out of a food source. Now they won't. What other crusade could he have? There's nothing else to take over on the 13th. I can't imagine anything else. So that's the crusade. And I think the Void Portal is gonna open on Marasidia. I think we are still going to Marasidia. But I think that's where it's gonna start. And you know what? Given that's the last land that Alleg attacked, and I still think that there's some connection between him and Xande, I wouldn't be surprised. No. You just ate. You literally ate. I watched you finish it. Selfish cats. I am very excited.
Do you think we eventually get Golbez without the helmet?
I think if we don't see it in the story, it'll be from the side quests with the Heck dies. I think every single one of those characters, we're going to see them before the transformation at some point. And then we'll see the transformation itself. So, they're our lore dump for the rest of the expansion. They even let's reform. And then they're like, oh, wait, this isn't all of us. And I was like, of course it's fucking not. I mean, I saw it coming a mile away as soon as it happened. But great patch for story for both Pandemonium and MSQ. They did a killer job with both of them. It's in no way feels like we just wrapped up the end of a 10-year saga because they're already getting pretty knee-deep in the next one. And also the Extreme Trial. I don't think it's as hard as some people seem to think it is or say it is or might feel it is upon just seeing it. But it's definitely better than the other three we've had this expansion.
It's fun.
It's let me just say, after how disappointing Endsinger was, I am very glad to have a good one. And you know what's crazy? Mm-hmm. That's not what's crazy. What's crazy is the point 2 trial is very often the best one, and I don't know why. Obviously that didn't happen with last expansion, but Ruby Weapon, close second, I'd say. I think it sucked to farm, but as a fight. You good? It's not an answer.
Stop you there. Let me stop you right there. Oh, God.
The paw on the shoulder and everything.
What's your favorite fight, Aloha?
Aloha, what's yours then, huh? What, Byakko? Fucking typical. Typical cat. It's racist. Of course he's going to vote for the cat.
It was just the paw on the shoulder that did it.
Aloha, I still got to clean up your vomit. It's just on the floor.
God. Oh, man. Oh, that was too good.
Anyway, I'd say Ruby Weapon a close second when it comes to trials. You know, if Warrior of Light hadn't been as so cool, I think that would have stood out as one of the stronger ones. Sephiroth, we literally just got the Unreal for this patch. Still holds up to this day, to be honest. Very well holds up to this day. And then 4.2 would have been Byakko, which I guess I think Byakko had at least a good initial appeal.
Stop it.
No, it's just the cutscene. No. The cutscene was the worst part. Like, it was just that whole concept. They were way too excited about it, and they made it too much. If that hadn't been there, the rest of the fight would have been a good fight. It's just they fucked up for about 70 seconds straight. That's it. That's the only reason why he kind of doesn't fall in that category for me. It's like Tsukiyomi kind of, I guess, wins that category in a sense. If not Shinryu, I don't know. I wasn't super hype about Shinryu personally, about the extreme.
I still was. I love Shinryu to this day is still one of my favorites.
Yeah. Either way, to get 2 very strong 0.2 primals in the same, or trials in the same patch is a gift. Because Sephiroth, on the other hand, have you done Sephiroth Unreal yet?
Not yet.
It's Sephiroth, all right. Yeah, that's Sephiroth. That's exactly as I remember. They basically didn't make any major changes. Like the proximity AoEs are still proximities. They just have indicators for proximity now. And the ads, those ads are definitely still their ads. Sephiroth he's back. He's back, and like the Hess truck, he's better than ever.
Can't wait. So you have to do it this week, so
can't wait.
Yeah, I need to start getting back my faux leaves.
I will say this: I did it on Scholar and White Mage. Man, White Mage's current design is so good for that fight. It's insane. I was surprised. I feel like White Mage and Sage are both really, really good for that fight because there's a lot of repositioning, and you have a Lily for everything. It's just it's effortless. And then with Sage, it's on the same end between Panheima, the Hollows change, and that Hollows change for Sage. They won. They fucking won the patch with that Hollows change. I knew as soon as I read it that I was like, holy fucking shit, this Hollows change. They deserved it too. But Sage, chef's kiss to that Hollows buff. Big ups on it. What else was there? This patch is still a lot. Tataru was good. Again, it was kind of in the same vein as the first time where it's like, yeah, this is fine. But also, I'm just glad to see the pirates again.
Yeah.
And given our dealings with the Void, I wonder if our good old buddy Red Bill Leofard would care to join us. He even looks at us and says, I'll talk to you soon. It's like, I hope so, buddy. I hope so. Leofard, dude, we also get some Leofard lore. We finally get a few answers about, some of his lineage and Just a little more look at his character. He's a fun character who doesn't get enough attention. And I love that. I love him. He's the kind of person who will threaten you with a good time.
and fucking Amanalane. Poor Amanalane.
What do you mean poor Amanalane? Dude, he's got no game. That's not my fault. He's the guy who's like doesn't know how to get a girl's attention, so he watches like MTV and just like throws on whatever he sees there. He just tries to like absorb it. Like in the just like a late 90s, early 2000 like can't figure it out kind of guy, you know? That's not my fault.
The boy needs some help.
He does. He absolutely needs some help. He needs to ask me for some help. I'll help the man out. Listen, I'm a great wingman, all right? I have a history of being a great wingman. I will do this man a solid, but he needs to loop me in because that whole armor skerfuffle he pulled, that shit wasn't cool, all right? He didn't look good.
Really won't.
No, yeah, he's like, it's like you just that's not the key, man. That's not the key. Yeah, he's a doofus. I ain't pitying Amanalane, dude. Ever since Thancred punched him in the face, I was like, yeah, that was the right call. Let's get Thancred to punch him in the face again. Maybe that'll work.
In front of Laniette?
Yeah, I mean, maybe she'll like that he can take a punch to the face. From Thancred.
Wow.
Of all people.
Wow.
Sometimes you just gotta take a punch to the face. And I think it's his time. Sly, I mean, everyone knows this. You don't really know who you are as a person until you've been punched in the face.
That is true.
You need that like inner reflection of what's just happened to you to grow as a person. And he just needs it a second time is all I'm saying. One wasn't enough. He got like a little bit of the way. We got to push him the rest of the way. Okay. So Tataru was neat. We're still just building her necklace. We didn't actually I thought we were going to enlist the Red Bills as like couriers almost. As like Sky Pirate business. That is not even remotely what happened.
Nah.
Instead, it was literally just we're dealing with a problem. And then Tataru shows up like, hey, I was here. I was in the area. It's like, I thought this quest was supposed to be about you. I forgot you were in it for a little while. So definitely do that. I wonder I think they're going to do Four Lords next. They mentioned the Four Lords by name, like when they were talking about it before it released.
Uh-huh.
So I think they're next.
I'm trying to think who else we haven't covered.
We haven't spoken to Gaius in a little bit. And I feel like she might be looking to enlist the aid and supply potential careers to individuals out in that region of the world as they're trying to rebuild.
I think she hasn't the Outra tribes.
Yeah, Magni and I could totally see that happening as well. The Outra tribes. I think that's reasonable. It's been a while for a lot of them, but we have to narrow it down to kind of 3. And I feel like Gaius is like in the dust right now and just needs somebody to love him. That isn't just Allie getting him to dress up as a chicken or a bunny. Sorry. As hilarious as it was, it's not canon, so we need to help him out. Yeah, what if she wants to glam up the G Warrior?
No. Do not let her touch the G Warrior. No.
Listen, I think Sid would trust her.
No. I don't. Sid might. I don't. No.
Yeah, but Sid's the engineer here, so I'm going to trust him.
The G Warrior's fine. Don't touch it.
right. Yeah, there's also technically the what's it called? I can't remember their last names. The Ramses family. We haven't checked in on them in a while.
Whose family?
Ramza.
Oh.
I couldn't remember their Garlean last name, so I got lost. It's been a hot minute since I've done those quests. The Bellevue. There you go. I'm just saying, there's a few possibilities. I just want to say hi. That's it. I just want to say hi to Gaius. That's all. I just want to walk up to him and be like,
how very glib.
I got a lot of use out of this for Golbez's unvoiced scenes this patch, by the way.
That cup gets way too much use outside of just being a fucking cup.
I was gonna say you better add some context to that because it's not a great. That cup gets too much use. Anytime, listen, anyone's talking into a helmet, that's what I got to do. Anytime it works. If it doesn't work, Sly, I wouldn't do it. The good news also is, Sly, this whole time I've been doing it, I'm at to like 15,000, rank 8.5 for my sanctuary. So it's been a good state of the realm.
How many
so
rocks?
Far. Oh, fucking Christ. I don't. Let's see. How many rocks do I have? I have 161 Leucogranite, 160 quartz, and 636 iron ore. Okay. I should go get something else. Okay, gonna relocate.
Yeah.
But moving on. So Tataru, yeah, that's there. That was good. Speaking of Island Sanctuary.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into that because you were knee deep into it. So again, I can't really speak too much about it. I did the introductory steps to my island, and then I went the fuck to sleep because I made a bunch of money and I was happy. Happy, however. So I bought Island Sanctuary.
Yes. What would you like to know, Sly?
So you started your Island Sanctuary Wednesday. You said
no, I started yesterday.
Yesterday.
Tuesday, Wednesday didn't touch it. Thursday didn't get to it. So I'm behind a day. Only one day, technically. I started yesterday.
Stall, don't look at me like that, Stall. I'm sorry. I have other shit. Okay. Happy is your guy. Don't look at me like that, Stall. I'm sorry. Number one Island Sanctuary enjoyer, Stall, out there in chat. So first of all, how has your experience been?
My experience has been quite good. I think I'll start on a negative note. I think the UI is a little clunky, specifically when it comes to the workshop, because you can check
buttons on buttons.
No buttons that don't give as much the same information as other buttons, but you need all the information at the same time. Great example, when you're doing the workshop, you can sort your handicrafts by demand. But if you do that, you can't see certain other details about it. Its current value on the market. It's the number of hours that it consumes in order to actually craft it. So you end up having to swap between menus or to just memorize which one is which, or maybe just keep it written down elsewhere. So that's a little clunky. I'd like to see those menus kind of consolidated and improved. But other than that, I've had a largely good experience with it. There are several different elements here that range from I'm grinding way too much to I see why they were trying to stop me. And they are unsuccessful because I started yesterday at like 8:30, 9 a.m.-ish. And I am rank 8.5 currently. And I'm going to have to stop at some point because I have stuff to do. Yeah. It's a time, Sly.
Yeah. So I know one thing in like when this was announced and when they announced rare rare species, you're like, yeah, shinies.
Yep.
How many shinies do you have currently?
Well, Sly, your pasture starts with only 5 spots. You can pretty quickly get it up to 10, and I'm currently waiting on a handicraft to sell so I can upgrade it to 20. My 10 pasture has 10 shinies in it. I had to send actually one of them away because I got a rarer one. So I had to send my ornery caracal back into the wild. But other than that, I currently am in possession of 10 shinies. They're very easy to catch. I don't know what everyone's complaining about. Just swing the net and stop complaining. It's very easy. It's worked for me. In fact, I've gone back and caught 3 of the crab. Every time he spawns, I just go catch him for fun, and then I release him back into the wild. That seems to be upsetting people for some reason. So, yeah, just swing better, I guess. Sly, for a good few hours, I didn't know that you could fail a swing. And then I didn't know that you could fail a swing and they could get away because everything always happened to me in one net. So okay, let me explain how the shinies work.
Please.
There are several common species on the island, such as a sheep or I guess a chocobo. And at certain times of the day, a bonus one will appear, and that's the shiny. So from certain times, you might see a black chocobo or I don't know, what's another one? A lemur. It's like a silver-ish looking Opo or like a red Epkalu, right? But then there's also uniques where there is no subspecies on the island, but these rare ones just appear in certain places under certain conditions. A great example, Goldback is up right now. I'm actually at him and I forgot. So let me just throw a random net at. I already have him, but let me just see. I'll throw this. So, oh, he got away. There you go. I already have him, so I don't care. But yeah, so then at certain times of day, under certain weathers and all these conditions, you'll get the unique ones to appear. And then those will only appear under those exact conditions. So Goldback specifically requires rain. Any time of day, if it's raining, he'll be there. Whereas the crab, Beachcomb, has to be raining between 12 and 3 a.m. Eorzean. Then you have Fog, which only spawns the yellow Coblin, which is a common variant. But then you have Twinkle Fleece, which only appears during fog between 6 and 9 p.m. Or the alligator that only spawns during certain. So there's all these, it's just like time and stuff. But they're always there unless apparently there's a bug where if you are on the island when the weather changes, sometimes they don't appear. And there's like a bunch of different things you can get to try to force them to load in. But that's a current what we assume is bug that stops them from appearing sometimes, which is kind of annoying. And but yeah, you catch them, they go into your pasture, and then you treat them like any other animal. There is actually a functional difference between them and the common animals as well. Every day, as long as you fed an animal, you get a leaving. And a leaving you can use in a recipe for a handicraft or whatnot. That could be like a claw or a fang or fleece or something like that. And every creature has a common and a rare drop. And the commons and rares for the common species are swapped. So like a common sheep has a high chance of giving you fleece and a low chance of giving you milk. The black sheep, the ornery caracal, has a high chance of giving you milk and a low chance of giving you fleece. So it swaps the available items around as well to make one more common than the other. So they do have a functional difference as well. But I'm just here for the shinies. That's all I fucking care about. There's 18, and you can hold 18 we know of, and 20 maximum pasture space. So as soon as my pasture can grow, I'm catching the rest. That's all there is to it. For now, though, I just have to replace the shitty ones. I think at 5 p.m., my handicrafts will be done. I'll have enough calories to increase the pasture size, and I just gotta wait for it to be finished.
Now, you're pretty, gung ho about all this.
Mm-hmm.
you have Savage coming up.
So, fortunately, Sly, I know exactly what the answer to this question is.
What's up?
So, Sly, your mammoths, they handle pretty much everything on the island. They build stuff for you. They're very witty, by the way. They like to talk shit. They threaten you and your life. So very much like the Animal Crossing experience with Tom Nook. And Isabel, you know, with the scene where they hold the axe to your neck and say you're going to pay for this fucking island. My favorite Animal Crossing scene from the anime. It's pretty much that. But one thing they do is they sell handicrafts on a fake market. You know, it's not like a real market. You don't earn real money from it or anything like that. But it has a whole supply, demand, you know, the shift, the popularity of the item to determine the value and the amount of time it takes to craft it and then sell it and blah, blah, blah. But your mammoths, they work hard. They get tired. And so they get 2 days of paid leave, essentially. And you can set those 2 days to be any 2 days of the week. And I'm setting them to Tuesday and Wednesday. So, Savage taken care of. I'll see you on Thursday, mammoths.
Wow.
They actually have a built-in, oh, fuck, I'm going to be busy on those days, like, mechanic for, for the island.
They really thought of everything with this island.
Yeah, I mean, it's the mammoths unionized, and they decided they needed 2 days off. That's all it is. It was really smart. By the way, every time they speak, I read what they say in Animal Crossing talk. No. So did you know Animal Crossing talk is real, right? Like they're actually speaking language. It's just sped up. It's just English, but like super sped up. So it'd be like, so you see Nightbot right here? See my Nightbot in my notification in my chat. Yeah.
See, I never touched Animal Crossing, no Stardew, no Harvest Moon. I never played any of the farming sims. So, again, outside of like everybody else is hyped for this, and meanwhile, I'm just like, okay, I have an island. Like, I like not even one creative bone in my body as far as like what I want for my island. Well, like what I want from a shack and shit like that. Like, shut it, chat. Again, I made 128 mil. I don't give a shit about no island. I make money. Hell, I ain't gonna make no money for me.
But you can get crafting and gathering material from the island.
Hooray.
Don't worry, Sly. Once you start, you won't stop.
Gundam.
I said once you start, not go start now.
Gundam.
Sly, Gundam ends at some point. There's an end point to that. Eventually.
Actually.
Yes?
Yeah, there will be an end point.
Yes, of course there'll be an end point. It's like Final Fantasy 14 technically has an end point. Like you can finish games. Despite what your Steam backlog may say, you can finish games.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You can just enjoy it casually. You can just go onto the island and you get some logs.
I like that. Average island min-maxer versus average shack enjoyer. I'm just a shack enjoyer. I just wanted my shack. That's it.
The only shack I need is Keel O'Neill. You laughed at that. I got you. You laughed.
I chuckled. Yeah.
I got you on that one. That's a victory.
Yeah, that's... Was there anything else in the patch?
I mean, Sly, I could still talk about Island Sanctuary.
Oh my god. Go right ahead.
I mean, it's actually fairly simple, but man, people who do not understand economics are not going to understand how to do the handicrafts. It's like a whole fucking system in place to do it. That's like, it very much screams like Excel worksheet. And it's here. I'll pull up the menu and I'll read you through some of the things. There's fucking charts. Yeah. So my workshop currently, I have 24 hours in a day. The day starts at 1 a.m. So I have, obviously I said I have Tuesday and Wednesday as off days, at least for next week. You can change this. You got to give them their shifts, right? You have to give them shifts, rest time. You can look at supply and demand charts in here. You can review materials to make sure you're not at a material deficit. But the big thing is when you chain materials together, things that you're selling, if you chain them by category, you get efficiency bonuses. So, for example, I started today by making a necklace. It's a simple 4-hour craft. In my current day, it's actually very high in demand. It's a little high in supply, though. So the demand shift shows that it's kind of on the decline. So tomorrow, it won't be as much in demand. But for tomorrow, that means that I have to keep that in mind, and I might not want to do the same kind of crafts going into the second day. But today I had a necklace into a chair, into a brick counter, into a like a bronze, I think it's called a bronze sheep. I think that's like a helmet stand, though it's not like an actual wearable helmet. But because I've now introduced all this supply into the market, the demand shift for tomorrow is going to be changing a little bit. So these items are going to, the market's going to fluctuate, and I'm going to be able to look at the demand list. So when I set according to demand, it'll show me every item, its current popularity, its supply, its demand shift, and its predicted demand. And I have to schedule a week's worth of things day by day by looking at this and trying to chain them together in specific orders. And if I don't do that, I don't get enough blue calories to do my upgrades. And if I don't do my upgrades, I can't make my pasture better. And if I don't make my pasture better, I can't learn how to fly. Where's the joke with the new one with the girl standing with the guy at like the EDM thing? Because that's now. That's it. What she said.
Yeah.
My cat threw up and I still haven't cleaned it up, Sly. I just want you to remember that.
Holy shit, go clean that up, please.
Sly, we got a show to put on. No, but really,
you pretty much covered most of it.
It's
Yeah,
right here.
thank
It's not a
you.
whole lot. It's just a
My
phone call.
God.
Aloha. What are you doing out here?
I'm gonna admit, I understand what a fucking word he just said.
He's looking at me like I did something wrong.
I understand a fucking word he said.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I gotta spray it anyway. This is cat life. And Aloha's an asshole.
That man could have been speaking Greek. I ain't getting none of that shit.
Aloha.
It's like Samuel
However,
L. Jackson
the spray
explaining.
for it is on the other side of the apartment, so keep entertaining them.
It's like Samuel L. Jackson explaining like known knowns and known unknowns in Boondocks. Like if you've ever seen the Boondocks, he's basically Samuel L. Jackson. There are known knowns and there are known unknowns. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. But yeah, I'm happy that people are happy about Island Sanctuary. I'm glad that y'all are enjoyers of Island Sanctuary, especially our number one enjoyer, Stall in chat, our number one Island Sanctuary enjoyer. Yeah, it's just Just say Gundam. 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 Gundam.
What'd I miss?
None.
Nothing. Hi, Ivy.
There are no, like, all I got from you is that there are known knowns and there are no known unknowns.
No, Ivy. Stay. Hey. There are also unknown unknowns. Things that we don't know.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. That's what I got from your explanation.
So you understand it, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, no, I'm my shit's like, I'm gonna be rich in fake currency. In faker currency. Because we have fake currency in Gil, then calories are faker currency. It's like the Rowena trap. By the way, the story of the island is something.
There's island lore?
Oh, no, I mean the cutscene. No. The cutscene.
The cutscene to get there. Yeah. I got that. Fucking Merle starting a business. Start a little business.
I just can't believe we've got Tataru Nook. She's like, yeah, your very own island. We get to the island. She's like, this is part of a whole experiment in regards to how to populate these islands and give. And it's like, I'm a fucking hamster. I'm a guinea pig.
Yeah. So you have to build your own tools and everything. We wanted to make this. We wanted to really do this on the cheap for the people who want to really do it on the cheap. So yeah, you gotta make your own tools and everything. Good luck. Have fun.
My boy was good. My boy. Just backing away, back onto the ship, Tataru.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah, I haven't even put down any minions yet because they don't give me anything. I got to save the minions until after I've gathered everything. When does my facility upgrade? Oh, that's right. I got to wait on my granary. See, my granary slide, it needs to bring back spruce logs and raw island garnet. So I can make my my workshops and my granary better so they can give me more materials back. My mammoths are busy. Oh, they built a bathhouse for me, Sly.
Oh.
Yeah, they built me a bath. Oh, actually, I think they're building. No. Yeah, they built me the bathhouse over here. There it is. Yeah, I got a windmill over there. I got a bathhouse right here. I'm living it up, man. That's what I'm saying, man. I got this. Oh, yeah. It's such a nice bathhouse. Sorry, I'll show you the bathhouse on stream. Hold on. Let me pull up the bathhouse. It's a really
all right.
It's a really nice looking bathhouse here. So just watch the stream. Okay. Oh, it's actually. Hold on. Okay, I fixed it. I made a mistake. Okay, there we go. All right, look at that. I got a nice little bathhouse right here. Look at how big this is. This is perfect for all this room for activities. You could have a party in here. You could have 15 of your best friends. I could just stand under you would die if you did this. You would just die if you ever did that. just right at the source. Just burn me. Oh, man. Sly, do you not want a bathhouse?
I have hot tubs.
Yeah, but that's not the same. There's also like mammoths tending to like other baths and like they wait on you hand and foot.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Sly, there's so much you could do. So much room for activities. And also there's a really cool mount from it all. And there's actually a fourth mount other than the ones that we talked about. It's the Garland cycle.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's 24,000 blue calories, but, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. It's fun. All right? And you don't have to spend that much time doing it.
Yeah. So I see. Like, people are having fun. And I'm glad people are having fun with it. I'm glad it got the popularity that it did. Because guess what? You're getting a second island.
Woo! He's not kidding. We actually are getting a second island in like 0.4 or 0.5 according to the roadmap. So do it all over again. Time to go grind sand to rank 10 in 2 days instead of just playing it casually. Woo! Oh yeah, Sly. You can also use cowries to get dyes, like pure white dyes and shit.
Yeah, I was told that. Yeah, like the same dyes that you normally get from the Sky Builder scripts.
Yes, Sky Builder scripts.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, pearl white, metallic brass, and gunmetal black. Those are the three.
Mm-hmm.
Not the pure white. Sorry, pearl white. Sorry,
Pearl.
I'm colorblind. Ah, man, Sly, that's a lot of calories. I'm scared. You know how many calories, like how long it takes to do most of this? It's like just log in, get a few items, and you'll be good. Yeah, gunmetal and pearl white are very, very good. Metallic brass, no one gives a shit. So, funny thing, I do have one other I have two other complaints about Island Sanctuary Sly.
Okay, here we go.
The music doesn't loop properly. It ends, goes quiet for like 5 minutes. And
then it suffers from Shadowbringer's music type deal.
You can fix it by mounting up and then unmounting, and it will start the reloop. But that's annoying. I actually have 3 complaints, by the way. That's now 1. Number 2, the sprint's not a toggle. I still have to press it every 20 seconds. Should just be a toggle.
Okay. It's valid.
And number 3, you cannot be in the island while you are in a cross-world party. And you cannot join a cross-world party while in the island. As my static has learned very quickly as we've tried to put parties together for raid nights.
And all of y'all were on your island.
And all of us were on the island. Like, why can't we invite each other?
Oh, my God.
You can be on a same world party. Yeah, maybe if you join before you go to the island, but you definitely can't do the invite or form one. We've tried. It just says no.
While on the island. Okay.
I think if you're in a same world party and you transform it into a cross world, it's fine. We tried. We kept getting errors every single time we tried to do it. It could be a bug. We were just unfortunate.
Could be.
Because Rin wasn't allowed to. Oh, you know what, though? I think it might just be inviting to a cross world. Like, actually, like, manually inviting people might be the one thing. Because Rin couldn't invite me while we were on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't, and we couldn't invite him. Like, we tried. We were making PFs, and it was like, Rin, well, I kept saying you can't join this. And it's like, sorry, I'm on my island. Yeah, tried joining a PF with my cross-world party and couldn't join. Yeah, there you go. So there's definitely some degree of error with cross-worlds. I could try to join one right now here. I could just, who's got one? I don't want to just join a hunt party, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I know that Rin couldn't when he was trying to put our static stuff together. So there's some sort of error with that. But we'll consider it 2.5 then.
2.5 problems.
It's a little finicky, but you can find a way around. So yeah, Island Sanctuary solid. Now we got Savage on Tuesday.
Hey.
You ready, Eddie?
Will be. I won't be going in on Tuesday though, but
yeah, I know.
Yeah, we will be. We will be.
You will be good. I very much look forward to Tuesday because I want to make some content. And what's going to happen, Sly, is once again, I'm going to not be the one who comes up with a strat, but it's going to be named after me. Be the 3rd tier in a row.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Stall, what's the name of the strat?
God, that was the worst one. At least with Happy Brambles, it made sense. But with the stall one, I was like, oh my fucking God. For those who don't understand, in Eden's Promise, we came up with a day 1 strat for Cloud of Darkness, and Pharaoh was the one who did all the positioning. But because I released the video, it got named Happy Brambles for the next 9 fucking months. For P3S, one of our members saw what Stahl's group was doing for Fountain of Fire, and we adjusted to that. And when I released the guide, it got called Happy Oji-san Fountain of Fire. No, Happy Oji-san Fountain of Fire. You have to say Oji-san.
Oh, wow.
Because it's Mr. Happy or Uncle Happy in Japanese. The Oji-san is that's what that's for. So, I am Uncle Happy. And I remember going into Stahl stream telling her about that, and she went, "Wow, that's a really good strat, Happy. That's really cool of you to come up with such a great strat. Really love Happy fountains." And I was like, "God damn it, Stahl. God damn it." I wonder what it'll be this time. I hope nothing. Just watch the video. Don't name anything, please. Or if you're gonna name it after something I actually came up with on my own. Like, I was like, because Timer Strat I came up with on my own. I released the video like a day later. Then it was like, but that just got called Timers. No, Fountain of Fire. That's the one. No happy chains. Just Fountain of Fire. Even when we were doing P1S, Whoops was like, happy chains. Dude, happy chains. I was like, no. Oh, man. That's how it has to be, I guess. I'm thirsty. Anyway. Good patch.
Solid patch.
Much less buggy. Still a little buggy. Still a few things here or there. But much less buggy than 6.1 was. Not including the housing thing. Housing thing, really buggy. This, outside of that, much less still. So, hoping to see Island Sanctuary be something people can enjoy for a while. I do think it's going to eventually boil down to people just maybe treat it as like a daily. They just go to the workshop real quick, get some calories. Yeah. But either way, I mean, it's something else that I think will keep people logging in for quite some time, especially the more casual Island Sanctuary peeps. And I'm sure we'll see people doing like shindigs and parties, like small gatherings and whatnot on the island too, with the tree houses. And another thing with the tree houses and the bathhouses, they're actually, I think, a little different depending on which site you build them at too. So there's even like slight changes. There's island prisms to renovate and change the appearances and everything. You know, there's some stuff. It's cool. So finish up Condom and then go give it a shot.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say Soul Hackers. I'm not going to lie. I was 100% sure that was going to be your reaction.
No, I'll probably finish that this coming week.
Good. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this week's episode. I don't think we missed anything of major import, unless you really want to talk about like Minions or something. I don't. Oh, I do have one thing to say about Minions.
What's up?
If you put Thancred on the island, he says this is Thancred.
So yeah, that's today's show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about PvP. That's one thing. I mean, it's season 3 series 2, but other than that, I mean, there's just a few job changes, which we already went over. No, we didn't, because we couldn't have, because it wasn't in the preliminaries. So, yeah, I mean, there's that. I mean, it's just, there's not much to say. It's another season. It's another series. People are climbing. And, some jobs got buffed or nerfed on Monday. But if you enjoyed it before, you'll still enjoy it now. I haven't tried Rival Wings yet either.
That is the simplest way to divulge the information. That is the simplest way to just, get through it. Like,
I mean, it is. I mean, but PvP. It's also true.
It's
like,
PvP.
What? Yeah, but for once, it's not. It's PvP and fuck it. It's PvP. We ran out of time, so if you liked it before, good chance you'll still like it now. Just have fun climbing out of bronze again. Yeah, that's really it. I am glad to see the series reward is amount this time. I hope I really, really want the seasonal rewards to improve. That's the big thing that I'm looking toward. Because once they do that, I think that'll be the final icing on the cake. You think we get another? I think we're gonna get another battleground this expansion. I have a feeling. Like, we got Rival Wings back. I haven't been back in. I haven't heard many people talking about it. But I can't help but feel like they want to maybe make a larger scale one that's takes a lot of not mechanics, but like ideology from how they design Crystalline Conflict.
We'll see.
We shall.
I don't think that would go too big.
I think we'll see. I think we'll see a new Crystalline Conflict map before that for sure.
Yeah. Oh for sure.
I still want the water or the ice map. Ice map where it's the ground becomes slidey. Water map where it just swishes you off the side, sends you back to start. That's toxic. That's toxic. Okay, well either way, yeah. And then the PvE changes were I mentioned Holos being the big gain. We didn't see any potency nerfs. We just saw some just straight up just buffs and changes. And no one seems to have any issues with it yet. So enjoy. Did you care about the Mirage Dive thing? I know that was supposed to be because of issues with weaving.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't give a damn. Honestly, didn't.
I guess, yeah, because it was apparently from feedback, like people had shared with me that Dragoon feedback largely showed that it being the same button had issues with weaving. Like it was like hard to double, like if you were to double weave, and people were like accidentally double weaving, and then some people said that it made doing another weave like harder or something like that. Because I don't play Dragoon, so obviously those kind of things go over my head a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't have that issue. It's really a non-issue for me.
Okay. Figured it was at least worth asking. Monk is still great, so I don't have anything to say about that. I get to rate as Monk this tier, so.
Hey.
No ranged life for me. The only in fact, not only is it no ranged life, I just literally don't have a ranged attack at all. So the Kamehameha range is pathetic, so that doesn't count. So I got as far from being arranged as possible with this one. I couldn't believe it either, Stall. Rin went, "Do you want out?" And I was like, "This is a trick question."
Do you want out?
Is this a prank? Are the what's the show with the three dudes who just do pranks on each other the whole time? It's really popular.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just three dudes who just do dumb pranks on each other the whole time. Yeah, I thought those three guys are gonna come out or something. Rin was in on it. Impractical Jokers. There you go. That's the one. Jackass. No, that's a lot more than three dudes. That's many more than three dudes. Oh no, yeah, Ed, and Eddie. No, correct. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, definitely Ed, and Eddie. There are many doors, Ed boy. Okay, well with that, I think we're good to sign off. Sly.
Yep.
All right. Well. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode. Don't forget, sponsors. We got Steelseries. We have a giveaway in the YouTube video. Be sure to check that out. If not, we have a 12% discount on all their stuff. They even just released a new line of speakers for Steelseries. Full-on gaming audio speakers. So be sure to check those out if you're someone who doesn't like to wear a headset and instead wants everyone to hear what you're listening to. I've never been a big fan of speakers, personally. It's not my flavor. I'm a headphones guy. Definitely.
Same.
Then we also have Advanced GG, 30% off. Type !! Advanced GG, or if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description and a discount code. And finally, we have our patrons, who we love. Do you not love them, Sly? You look like you don't love them.
I love our patrons. I'm thinking about something.
What do you
I feel like
think?
I forgot something.
You feel like we forgot something?
Something from Duty Commenced?
I mean, you got to remember that in Duty Commenced, we talked about everything that's at the live letter, and a lot of that stuff's not in the patch.
No. The globes.
I did. Yeah, you're right. Well, that might need to wait till next week.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't that supposed to be last week? We should. I'm gonna hit up Aya.
Yeah, please do.
I think that's my fault. It's been a busy couple of weeks, Sly. It's a good thing.
Yes.
Aloha. Stop. Anyway, we're done. Sly, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at?
Well, you can find me on twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly the Fox. Yeah, Gundam, Soul Hackers 2, Final Fantasy. You know,
He's lying. He's not playing Final Fantasy. He's playing tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, I am playing tomorrow. And by the way, I know, there's some raiders out there who are in need of supplies, and I'm just letting everyone know I have product. So if you are in need, I have wares. Holla at your boy. I can come to any North American server. I can move. I can move. If you need things, just let me know.
What are you buying?
What are you selling? Oh yeah, by the way, if speaking of which, I'll head into Allure for Vegas night 2. I made money last night too. I somehow made more money again. Vegas night 2 at Allure on Ultros. If you ain't doing anything tonight, come on by. Good time. Gamba, music, good time at Bio. Happy.
Yes.
What you doing?
I've got Octopath Champions of the Continent on this.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, that's been my I'm doing this at the same time as everything else thing for the last 2 weeks. Because listen, you never know when Cyrus is going to come around, and I need to make sure I got some rupees saved up for that. I also finished the story off stream, the base story, which is fantastic, by the way. If your issue with if Octopath Traveler's original game was that you didn't like how the stories were all divided, oh, don't worry. That's not an issue here. I can promise you that. Jesus Christ, what a fucking story that this game has, much to my surprise. But other than that, I'm on an island. I got Savage on Tuesday. I'll be live 16 hours a day. Tomorrow, I'm actually doing a cooking stream. I got to make Prague stew. That is the beef stew from the Final Fantasy cookbook, but it is my go-to Prague meal. And I mean Prague as in P-R-O-G, not Prague as in, I'm not going to Prague. It's different kind of Prague. Different kind of Prague stew, that's for certain. Yeah, so I'll be streaming that bright and early, 7 a.m. And I might cook a couple other things while I'm there because I have some other food in the fridge that needs to get cooked. And stew takes 3 hours on the stovetop, so I might as well do something else while I'm waiting. Yeah. And then Monday is just copium day while waiting for raid and trying to make sure I sleep early enough. And yeah, that's all I got going on until Diofield comes out later this month. Or later next month, sorry. It's not September yet. Yeah, Diofield, Valkyrie, Elysia. Oh, I don't want to talk about the list of games again. It hurts to fucking think about the time investment. I can't do it. Oh, by the way, go do The Rising. It was fun. Rising.
Wait, The Rising's out now?
Yeah, it was out this morning. It's 15 minutes. It won't take you long.
Okay, cool.
There you go. All right. Well, with that, we're going to move on to a short post show. I'm not going to be only in an apron and some Tims. That is most certainly not going to be the case for tomorrow. I listen, it's not even about whether or not I get banned. I don't want to mentally scar anyone for the rest of their life. Realistically, that's the mental anguish of that is far worse for certain. We're going to go into a short post show, and then I have some stuff to get to this afternoon. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next week, where hopefully we'll just be talking about Savage. Hopefully, that's the plan for next week. Anyway, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye. Gundam.